All right, I have finished Orb on the Movement of Earth, and it is absolutely phenomenal. 10 out of 10 anime, would recommend to basically everyone. It is definitely character focus with heavy themes, religious imagery, and commentary in this fictionalized world. The premise is very simple. We are dealing with heliocentrism versus geocentrism, where the church is to an extent that didn't actually happen that we have proof of in reality. That being said, would we really know, or would they destroy all the evidence? If you question God's design, what they view the world is and the universe's design is, you are questioning God. You are questioning the heavens. You will be burned as a heretic. So this particular, I think it was the bishop, is very against heliocentrism and believes the geocentric model, where the Earth is the center of the universe and everything rotates around it. Um, so the idea of researching the alternative that the Earth is actually moving is a very big no-no. And while, again, we don't have evidence that this happened in reality, I can interpret geocentrism to represent everything, all the ideas that the church has inflicted control over. Um, Ideas they wanted persecuted, and that they did kill people to keep their ideas and control and stuff like that in power. The dogma that they had prosecuted against other people. You have dealing with underprivileged situations. So while fictional, I do believe the ideas in there are very needed, especially the idea that when belief is trying to override science and evidence, that is not good and you should push back against it. So for that reason, absolutely love the series. Also, characters, phenomenal. Fell in love with all of them. They all have their own reason and motive for pursuing this knowledge, whether it's personal, whether it's they want their name in the historical records, whether they just think they're brilliant and want to leave their mark on the world, whether they want money, it's a pursuit for the truth and knowledge. It's all so well fleshed out and developed, and it's theological ideas as they bounce back and forth and influence each other, and the ideas that they have influencing the next generation. That will be my only, can't even call it a complaint because it's needed for the series. And that's, we start with one character, how they influence the next, how they influence the next, to the point that you don't really have one viewpoint character. And I love them all. But that being said, I would have loved to stay with one group, but then we go to the next one, and it takes me time to grow and love that new group of characters. So the pacing did make this not a bingeable series for me, but still phenomenal. The villain, by the way, I have never been more terrified in my life. This man struck fear into me every time that he was on the screen. A mercenary inquisitor who believes he's doing God's work and will stop at nothing. That is absolutely terrifying. I will admit that I think it's Baden, however you say his name, Badin. He is my absolute favorite. He is a monk. He's a narcissist, full of himself. Do not believe the common people should be educated. You know the whole standing on shoulders of giants? No, he's going to be the giant, and he doesn't want anybody else to stand on his shoulders. He doesn't want anyone using his own research because it will be in his name and no one will benefit from him but him. Oh, he's hateable. I can't even say he's lovably hateable. I just love that arrogant character, but they have the knowledge to back it up. But you pair him with, what's Ozzy, something like that, and he is just this sweet boy who wants to care about people and a love for, he's very religious, he loves the sky, he's terrified of the heavens, but he loves it so much and he wants to know the truth of the universe, and he wants to care about people and educate them and give them bread, even at cost to himself. You pair these two up, and it is just a glorious combination. And the series just goes from there as they are influenced from the past research and how the words that they figure out continue on to inspire the next generation. And you have sort of a revolution. You have characters interweaving into each other's lives, coming in and out, and the impact that they have. The trauma, just all of the trauma. I love traumatizing series, and this one had no less than like 5 traumatic moments that gave me whiplash every time, because I'm like, I know it's coming, but it's gonna hurt me just like it did last time. Absolutely love this series. I will say that, I guess if I was forced to give a genuine criticism, there were a lot of conversations that happened at night, because, you know, cover of darkness, we can't just talk about this in broad daylight all the time. Someone's going to overhear, and we're all going to be brought in for torture and execution. So there talking at nighttime. And the sky is very clearly the focus of the series. It is beautiful, it is artistic, it is absolutely gorgeously animated. But to have that ethereal, beautiful look to it, yeah, we need to make everything else dark so the stars like glow and beautiful naturally, and that just makes it hard to see the two people who are talking and having the conversation. I know it's an aesthetic choice, I know it makes sense, I know it's beautiful and artistic. I just like seeing the people who's talking, so can we have some unnatural light at least on them? But that's just a me thing. At the end of the day, Orb is absolutely beautiful. It is traumatic. The themes are heavy. The story is engaging. The characters are phenomenal. The villain is the best I've ever seen in a very long time. And 10 out of 10 would recommend. Can I talk spoilers in this? I will say that because I love trauma so much, I have to bring it up. So, spoilers, 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 spoilers. Within like the first 3 episodes, I love it so much because that's enough time for you to skip away. So the first guy, Rafa, whose point of view we're following, he is such a sweet boy. He's intelligent. He's brilliant. He's following his passion. He's on this road for a comfortable life. But then he learns the truth of the stars, of the universe. He knows in his heart that the earth is moving. Its science is telling him so. And it's beautiful. It all works out in a way that just fits together. And he announces this. He believes this. He refuses to dispel the idea of heliocentrism, and he dies for it. He commits suicide. His body is burned, and it is the setup of the Inquisitor who will hunt this idea down through generations and years and decades. And I did not see it coming. I'm not used to anime killing off who I think is going to be the protagonist, and I love it so much. When you can make me love a character in a short amount of time, or a long amount of time, you can kill him off at the end of the season, that's also fine. When you make me love this character, and then you inflict the trauma of killing them off in a satisfying way that builds on the story, that emphasizes the themes, I love nothing more than that. And then you have my 2 favorite best boys. They take up the pursuit. They find the knowledge in the forest. They are building their own theory, their own experiences, and analytics, research, whatever. And they come to the same conclusion with the examples of rotation and different planets moving at different speeds and how eclipses work and all that. And then you pair them up. You put them on the screen with the Inquisitor, who's responsible for the death of the first one, and I am screaming at my screen. Just run. Abandon the research. I don't care. I want these 2 characters to live more than anything. Just get away. You can get all this back somehow. You've proved it once, you'll prove it again. Get away. Just run. Good boy Ozzy, I'm probably saying his name wrong, sacrificing himself, killing, taking a life. Thou shalt not kill. This man is religious. He cares about that. To protect Bondi, whoever you say his name, the monk, and for it not to work. And then for this arrogant, selfish monk who lost his eye for the pursuit of knowledge, can't bear to watch his friend, who he cares about, but always refused to admit that he cared about him, said he was just using him, didn't care about anyone but himself and his own name and his own legacy, for him to give up everything to save and protect him, and for them both to be executed, I was shook to my core. And I'm like, nothing's topping this. Nothing's topping this. And nothing really did. But then you have the Inquisitor guy, Norwalk, who is terrifying, absolutely terrifying. So, not intentionally, but his own daughter is brought into this. He believes she's dead, only for her to continue in secret the research and the movement and the rebellion. And for him to get so close to her again, wanting to see his daughter, only for her to die in front of him. Explosion! He picks up an arm, and I'm just like, does he know that's her? And then for him to die in flames, with the understanding that his life's purpose has all been a lie, that he had been lied to by the church. This was a fleeting fancy of, I guess, the bishop, who just really hated the idea of astronomy, but there's no actual word of God that says that this should be condemned and it's heresy. So the next one who takes over, who may or may not have killed the previous one, it's like, it's all about the money. I can make money via this, therefore, you know what, this doesn't have to be heresy. He's like, I sacrificed everything for this. Like, you were nothing but a mercenary. You were never doing God's work. For him to see the hallucination of the person representing this entire movement to him, everything he's given his life for, as everything burns around him and he puts the gloves on the severed hand of his child, and I'm just like, he knew that was her. His life is crashing around him and he's just praying for her salvation rather than his own. You make me love and hate this guy so much. Again, I love being traumatized by a series. This was incredible. 10 out of 10, would recommend. I need more people to watch it because I don't know if this is appropriately hyped. All I've ever heard is good things about it, but I haven't heard enough people talk about it. So please watch Orb. That is all I got. Talk to you later.